Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
We have a little bit more humidity out there for us this morning. That trend may continue the next couple of days, but we'll talk about what temperatures look like and if we have any storm chances on the way coming up.
A woman battling cancer says she was harassed for wearing a mask inside a Cary business.
I actually showed him my medical ID card, and he still lashed out at me like that.
The confrontation, she said, escalated just days after a bill was passed banning masks.
And we are less than 2 hours away from the start of the U.S. Open here in Pinehurst. Coming up, we spoke with fans, and we'll have tips for you on how to beat the heat.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the objective today. Very hot conditions we're going to be experiencing there. Thanks for joining us here this morning on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. Yes, we will get into the 90s today.
Oof.
And of course, it's going to feel even hotter than that. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Morning temperatures we can handle, Anthony.
Yeah, morning temps right now, guys, are currently in the 70s. So good morning to all of you as we plan you here for your Thursday. It's definitely going to be hotter and more humid than the past couple of days. Here's, though, a live look, a beautiful shot right there. Pinehurst getting all ready there for the U.S. Open. Lots of people out there the next couple of days. We currently sit at 70 around the Triangle, 68 in Fayetteville, 67 currently in Clinton. And as we go through today, it will be a little bit muggier than what we've been experiencing the past couple of days. It will not be off the charts, though. You see, we're in that tolerable category, and we should stay that way as we get through today and into tomorrow before a little bit of a break into the weekend. We climb, though, quickly. 92 this afternoon is our high temperature. If you are headed out the next couple of days, 91 for the U.S. Open today. Looking dry, but just make sure to have lots of water, and then a 20% chance of a shower or storm tomorrow evening. We will go over, though, more in detail the rest of this forecast and have a look at the upcoming weekend here, guys, in just a few minutes.
Anthony, thanks. In just over 2 hours, the U.S. Open will get underway at Pinehurst number 2. WRAL's Heidi Kirk joins us live from Pinehurst Village this morning. And Heidi, this is the 4th time our nation's championship has been held there, and this is shaping up to be the hottest ever there.
Good morning, Renee. And of course, the excitement is definitely in the air this morning. I'm certainly excited to head out there. But of course, one thing that is on everyone's mind is beating the heat. As you just said, it's going to be quite hot. And well, right now it actually feels perfect. In a few hours, the sun's going to come up and it's going to be quite hot. Now, we've been out here all week, and we want you to take a look at your video on your screen. You're going to see some footage that we've shot out there throughout the week. Now, you're going to see this. The USGA has set up hydration stations that will be in high demand throughout the rest of this week. And they also have over 100 EMS workers standing by in case someone has some sort of emergency. Now, yesterday we spoke with fans who traveled from Northern Ireland, get this, and they're doing what they can to beat the heat.
From where we come from, it doesn't get this hot very often, if at all. So yeah, gotta keep hydrated, and yeah, wash down a couple of beers as well.
And you heard it. The key here is to stay hydrated. I've got to say, I've got my water bottles in the car. So if you're headed out to the Open, be sure to pack lots of water, stay hydrated, make use of those hydration stations. You don't want to have an emergency out on an exciting day like this. And we're going to stand by with continuing coverage of the Open today. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, live in Pinehurst.
A man in Cary discovered a grenade buried beneath his backyard, and he found that while landscaping. This happened at the home on Kings Fork Road in Cary. Cary police and the Raleigh bomb squad were called to the house. Even the military crew from Fort Liberty was able to show up, and they safely removed it. A scan of the property found several rounds of ammunition, but no other devices there. And today you can get a look inside a new facility meant to help families in crisis in Wake County. Safe Child will open its new facility to the public for an open house today. It's on Kidd Road in Raleigh. Drop-in hours are from 8 to 11 this morning and 3 to 6 this afternoon. You can RSVP on Safe Child's website, and Safe Child is the only organization in Wake County dedicated to eliminating child abuse and giving resources to families in need.
This morning, a special train service will take its first trip from Raleigh to the U.S. Open. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us from Union Station in Raleigh. And Kelsey, this is a brand new way for golf fans to travel to Pinehurst. Renee, we're just a few hours away from the arrival of the Open Express. We should be seeing the train coming here in just a few hours. This will be the first time people can hop on a train from Raleigh and Cary to get to Pinehurst for the Open. More than 200,000 fans will be at Pinehurst Resort over the next few days. That means heavy traffic and parking headaches. So this is really a game changer when it comes to convenience for people in the Triangle. The morning train will leave Raleigh Union Station at 7. It will leave Cary at 7:15, and the train should arrive in Pinehurst just before 9:15 this morning. And the evening train will leave the clubhouse at 6:35 to head back towards Raleigh and Cary. The Open Express is a part of a green initiative from the USGA, and Moore County officials say the head of the NCDOT will be here on the train this morning, so we'll be sure to be here at 7 o'clock when they arrive. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh. WRAL is your home for the U.S. Open. Be sure to tune in to WRAL for all the action from the first tee to the 18th green. Network coverage begins with the second round tomorrow. Jeff is already out there. You'll see him a little later in the newscast. Gerald will also be leading our coverage on WRAL live from Pinehurst. You can get all of our content on your phone, tablet, and TV.
Torrential rains poured in South Florida overnight. Authorities there are warning people to avoid life-threatening flooding. You're looking at video on your screen from the city of Aventura near Miami. Look at all the water that people are treading through, making waves as they go. The downpour is complicating air travel in and out of the region. Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport told would-be travelers that its entrances and exits were flooded. The NHL's Florida Panthers felt the wrath of the heavy rains. In fact, their flight to Edmonton was delayed for hours because of the weather. They finally arrived just after 9 o'clock last night. Puck drop for tonight's Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals is at 8 o'clock.
Only on WRAL, a Cary woman who has cancer is sharing her story after she says she was harassed for wearing a mask into a business. The interaction came just one day after state lawmakers passed a bill making it illegal to wear a mask while committing a crime. Even though the bill states people can still wear masks for health reasons, some believe it will lead to more harassment like this. Sherry Stewart has stage 4 breast cancer. She says a customer at a car service center in Cary threatened her and coughed on her because she was wearing a mask. She claims the man told her wearing a mask is now illegal in North Carolina.
If that law is out there, you're still going to get people like the gentleman I encountered today that's going to have something to say to you and get upset that you're wearing it.
WRAL asked House Speaker Tim Moore about this. He says no one should be harassed for wearing a mask for health reasons. Governor Cooper is expected to veto the bill, but Republicans have a veto-proof majority.
Today, community leaders from across the state will gather in Chapel Hill to talk about preventing suicide in North Carolina. The statewide summit on suicide prevention is happening today. That's at the UNC Friday Center. Leaders will talk about updates to the state's suicide prevention plan, the availability of resources, and progress being made. According to the State Department of Health and Human Services, suicide is the second leading cause of death for young people ages 10 to 18. It's the third leading cause of death for people 19 to 34. And if you or someone you know is experiencing mental health challenges or having suicidal thoughts, there is help available. You can contact the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at any time. That number is 988, and you can also visit WRAL.com and search the words "Get Help" for additional resources. Transgender swimmer Leah Thomas will not be competing at the Olympics. We'll explain the legal challenge a court dismissed.
Plus, a mistake by NASA had people concerned about the well-being of astronauts on the International Space Station. The accidental alert that was sent out while astronauts were sleeping.
And we want to get you a live look at Goldsboro this morning. Things are definitely going to heat up today and into the weekend. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione will give us a look at the temperatures plus the tropical systems that we're watching too.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Anthony Baglione in for Elizabeth, who has the rest of this week off. Let's talk about temperatures out there because it is definitely a very mild start for us, if not just warm across the area. 70 is where we sit around the triangle, 65 currently in South Hill, 61. Good morning to in Roxborough. Humidity levels, yes, will go up compared to where we have been, but notice they're not going to be off the charts. They're really still bearable for this time of the year. We get to our Saturday, it drops there into the comfortable category, and by Monday, I think that's when it will really start to feel feel a little bit more humid out there. Heat index value-wise, that's that orange kind of color contour you see right there. The hottest over the next couple days, it will feel like 96 tomorrow afternoon. Bear that in mind if you're headed out. Otherwise, we're talking feels like in the low to mid 90s.
3 deputies and a suspect shot in Illinois during a standoff that turned violent were all taken to the hospital. This happened in Dixon, Illinois, about an hour and a half away from Chicago. Authorities say 2 of the deputies are now home and the 3rd deputy as well. Plus, the suspect is recovering from surgery. The sheriff's office says deputies were called to a home because someone threatened to take their own life. Well, the deputies tried to talk to the person inside, but when they entered the house, the suspect reportedly opened fire.
NASA is calming concerns over the safety of astronauts on the International Space Station after they accidentally broadcast a simulated emergency. They took to X last night to say the audio from their YouTube live stream was not accurate to what was happening on the ISS. While the astronauts were asleep, listeners at home heard that there was a medical emergency on board from the misrouted training audio. NASA says all the astronauts are healthy and safe. This morning, the crew will do a spacewalk starting at 8 a.m.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, a massive fire at an oil refinery in Iraq is burning right now. This is video from that scene. The fire occurred at an asphalt storage facility on that refinery. At least one person has been hurt. Many have breathing issues, but no deaths have been reported so far. The cause of this fire remains unclear, but about a dozen firefighting teams are currently trying to put out the flames here at this refinery.
Those flames look intense. Thank you, Michelle. 3 teenagers have been implicated in a series of vandalisms in North Raleigh. Police say that juvenile petitions will be filed. Officers say the teenagers threw rocks at cars in several neighborhoods last week and over the weekend. A neighbor shared doorbell security video with WRAL showing a white SUV right there on your screen driving by. And Raleigh police are asking for help identifying the teenagers.
Johnson & Johnson will pay $700 million in a settlement tied to its talcum powders. This comes after an investigation revealed J&J misled customers about the safety of its talcum products. Legal battles and investigations into a link between cancer and talc have been ongoing for a decade. More than 50,000 claims have been filed against the company. Most involve women who've developed ovarian cancer. As part of the settlement, J&J will no longer use talc in any of its products.
A product dubbed gas station heroin could soon be banned in North Carolina. House lawmakers approved a ban on tianeptine. That's the main ingredient in products widely available at convenience stores and smoke shops across the state. It's often marketed as dietary supplements or mood enhancers, but it's unregulated. That means even children can buy it. The state Senate can approve the ban, and that could happen as soon as next week.
8 climate change activists are facing federal charges after disrupting the congressional baseball charity game in Washington. Protesters who jumped onto the field were wearing shirts reading "End Fossil Fuels." U.S. Capitol Police stopped the protesters. A group known as Climate Defiance took credit for that protest. American transgender swimmer Leah Thomas will not be competing in next month's Olympic Games. Thomas lost a legal challenge against rules that blocked her from competing in elite women's races. In the legal challenge, Thomas says the World Aquatics rules are invalid and unlawful. The Court of Arbitration for Sport found that Thomas is not eligible to challenge because she is not a current member of U.S. Swimming. Responding to the ruling, World Aquatics says it is, quote, dedicated to fostering an environment that promotes fairness, respect, and equal opportunities for athletes of all genders. Thomas was the first transgender athlete to win an NCAA college title in 2022.
Salt Lake City, Utah could host the 2034 Olympic Winter Games. The International Olympic Committee's future host commission recommended the city after a visit in April. International Olympic Committee members still need to confirm a vote for Salt Lake City, though, and that could happen in July. Salt Lake City hosted the Winter Games in 2002.
It is 4:47, and we're going to go from very warm to hot officially. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. A flurry of activity at Pinehurst right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy day for us the next couple of days, I think, out there for the U.S. Open. I love watching this camera, though. All the grounds crew hard at work, just getting everything ready for all of the activities the next couple days, all the rounds that they're going to be playing here. Where we sit currently, we're at 70 in Raleigh, so it's definitely on the warm side. Upper 60s for most of us across the south. 61 is where we sit right now in Roxborough. It's a little bit more humid than what we saw this time yesterday morning, and I think as we go through the next couple of days, it will be in the tolerable, not quite off the charts category, but it'll be enough to be noticeable, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. Starting off, though, this morning, upper 60s and low 70s. It's going to be a quick climb, though, to right around 92 this afternoon. That should be our high temperature, and then we ramp it up here even into tomorrow, even hotter. There's a look at our muggy meter, though, so we are tolerable. Yesterday it was in the comfortable category, so it's enough where I think it will be a little bit more noticeable, but it's not going to be sky high and making our feels like values over triple digits or anything like that the next couple days. We head out there, though. Here's a look at our muggy meter for us. We're kind of that line doing the ups and downs as we head into today, tomorrow. It's intolerable. We go down to comfortable there on Saturday and then ramp it back up into Monday. That's when it should be more humid and you likely will feel it. We add on, though, the feels like temperatures in that orange box for you, and then in the yellow one that's showing up as the actual high temperature. The next couple of days, we should be pretty close to what the actual air temperature is today. 96 is what it'll feel like tomorrow. Plan on 90, 91 on Saturday, 92 on Sunday. So it goes to show you it's going to be hot, not quite as bad as where we could be, but just plan for that here if you're headed out. We take a look at that U.S. Open forecast. A 20% chance, I want to make you aware of that, tomorrow evening for an isolated shower or storm coming through. And we're 91 today, 94 tomorrow. That will be the hottest day if you are out there. 92 on Saturday, 91 on Sunday. And generally speaking, I'd say plan on feels like values low to mid 90s. So it will not be off the charts. I think the hundreds are probably going to be out of the question for us, thankfully. Here's a look at the tropics, though. Briefly, this is a look at the probabilities of getting a tropical depression to form. There was one there showing up. I'll go through it here the next time we meet in the Bay of Campeche that's likely to form here. Not going to be a major effect to the United States, but we'll keep watching that. 94 on Friday, 91 on Saturday. We go to 90 on Sunday. Lots of 90s there, guys, here over the next 7 days.
All right, thanks, Anthony. One day after he was ruled ineligible to compete in Nathan's hot dog eating contest, Joey Chestnut has his next event he'll be competing against in a Netflix special.
And a bear is caught relaxing on a hammock. We'll tell you where this video is taken. WRAL Investigates digs deeper into the push a developer is making to build beach homes on land where American Indians have been found. Reporter Heidi Kirk traveled to the site in Carteret County and to Jacksonville, where the developer is located, looking for answers for the people who are living in that area.
On the surface, this looks like the dream spot for development. It's right on the water, and there's room for growth. But it's what's underneath the surface that's raising questions.
You'll find dozens of homes right on the Intercoastal Waterway in Carteret County. But the push to build more in the Bridgeview community near Bogue Sound has come to a halt after the discovery of thousands of Native American findings.
It actually shocked me.
What shocks people like Cecil Hagee, who lives nearby, is that the development could continue on top of what state archaeologists believe to be a significant ancient burial site.
My personal opinion, I think they should, if they found it and know it, they should stop building.
Representative Mike Lazzara has proposed a bill that would allow development on any site despite historical findings, saying the restrictions are too strict for builders. WRAL Investigates found multiple campaign donations from members of Cedar Point developers to Lazzara. The proposal to build on top of archaeological sites is drawing concern from Native American advocates statewide.
This sets a dangerous precedent for sacred sites across the state.
Kinsella says the building rules are already too lax, with only 2% of coastal projects undergoing archaeological investigations in the last 4 years.
We really just ask people to think about what if it were your ancestors?
As a Native American himself, Hagee wants to know more about his own land, just one street over from the Bridgeview community.
If I know for definite that we were sitting on a burial ground, I'd sell this place tomorrow.
Others living in the community tell WRAL they have concerns too, but they didn't want to speak up for fear of backlash from the developer. We reached out several times to the Cedar Point Developers LLC with those concerns and other questions. We even went by the office in Jacksonville, where we were told no one was available for comment. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, Cedar Point.
A ship belonging to famed British explorer Ernest Shackleton has been found. It's been more than 60 years since it disappeared. The wreckage of the vessel named the Quest was found off the coast of Canada on Sunday. The ship disappeared after hitting ice on May 5th, 1962. The Quest was found using sonar scans sitting more than 1,000 feet below frigid water. Shackleton died aboard the ship in 1922.
The ultimate rivalry will be reignited on Labor Day, and it will be putting stomachs to the test. Netflix has announced professional competitive eaters Joey Chestnut and Takeru Kobayashi will be facing off in a hot dog eating contest. It'll be called Chestnut versus Kobayashi Unfinished Beef, and it will be streamed live on September 2nd. The last time the two faced off was at Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest back in 2009. This comes a day after Chestnut was banned from the Nathan's Eating Contest because he signed a deal with a rival plant food company. Sounds like he got the better end of the deal. Check this out. A man in Vermont recorded this video of a bear in his backyard hanging out on the hammock there. The other bear's like, "What are you doing?" This is taken earlier in the week in the town of Waitsfield. The man says he's seen plenty of bears in his yard, but this is the first time he's seen one relaxing on his outdoor furniture.
That bear's like, "I'm having a real good time up here. Wow, this is nice."
Well, now it's trying to figure out how to get off of it.
Well, we are less than 2 hours from the start of the U.S. Open in Pinehurst, where you are looking live this morning. They are getting prepared to make sure the green is ready to go. We'll tell you about the special train service that will get fans to and from the course.
President Biden is in Italy this morning, meeting with world leaders for the G7 summit. We'll tell you about the work being done to get more aid to Ukraine amid the war with Russia.
Plus, the Boston Celtics are just one win away from taking home their 18th NBA championship. Highlights from their game against the Dallas Mavs last night.
Brown now with 30, and the lead back up to 4. Magnificent.